Hey, welcome back to another episode. We've got this '06 Impala. The complaint is a coolant leak. And let's see what we got. Gonna bring you guys along. So you can see some wetness down there in the front of the engine. Goes all the way down to the A-frame. As I look down in here, it looks like it's been a centrifugal force, which means it's being flung. Right over here, some wetness, some drips. The head gaskets look dry. The belt, let's see. The belt feels slightly tacky, so we're getting coolant up on the belt. So, here we go. Zoom in. There you see some coolant seeping out of that gasket. You'll never guess where it is. Yeah, it's a water pump. This vehicle's water pump is seeping some coolant. And let me see. Stay there. Stay. Alright. Open up the cap. This is an '06 Chevy Impala, the 3.9 V6. And we won't say dry because there is some down in there. See that pinkish liquid? That's coolant. So there's not much being lost. So we're gonna have to drain coolant and get this battery up out of here. Get the battery out, get this crossbar out. To get to the battery, we gotta take this and move it, and we gotta take this off to get in this general vicinity. Now we got a water pump for this, so it's not like I already knew. I looked at this vehicle a few days ago, and judging by the wetness on the front of the engine, you know, looking at the heads and everything, they were dry. There's only one other place that it could leak, from the block or the water pump. And if there was a crack in the block, the front of the engine would be also dry. If you're losing coolant, then yeah, that indicates you know, you got a blown head gasket somewhere. Let's take a look at the reservoir tank. If that'll stay down there. Go to your home. You know you just want to go to your home. I'll just take this fucking thing off. Okay. Now, ooh, yeah. Oh my god. Next indication is, you see that nice white milky substance down in there? Yeah, that's a confirmed diagnostics is got a coolant leak between the coolant and the oil, but it's not oil, otherwise it would be like a chocolate milk, and it's not. Also indicating blown head gasket, which it's not. So that changes things just slightly on the drainage. If you got white stuff in your overflow tank, you're gonna have to, here's what I'm gonna do, is before I open that petcock down there on the radiator, it's just right down there at the bottom, I'm gonna take this overflow tank off because I don't want that draining back into the radiator. That's the first step. I brought along with me the mid-torque Craftsman, no sponsor, 13 millimeter. I've got a ratchet wrench with the 3/8 adapter, but it fits 1/2-inch sockets. And also brought with me a 10 millimeter deep well and some nifty hose clamp pliers that I'll clamp on to here so I can remove that first. So let me set you down right here. Okay, I'll try to get a better view. Oh, stop walking on camera. Okay, you just see me over here. Push this thing all the way forward, clamp the hose, and then push it back. That keeps them on there. Then we'll need a pair of pliers. In this case, a pair of needle nose. Get on that clamp. Right there. Move it back. Well, in this case, clamp is in my way. Get out of here, clamp. Okay, back again. Just back. Okay, and move this in circles. You want to break it free like that, very gently, and pull it off. Voila. Oops. Okay, now what we have is 10 mil. These things are 10. They're just hand tight, so you don't have to get at them with some kind of a tool. These are just plastic nuts, so you don't have to really force them off. So now we're just going to lift this off. It just comes right off, and then we're going to feed the hose down and around like so. Get over there. Just like that. First thing is off. It's got a, when you put it back in, it's got something like this that slides down. So you're going to slide it down over a bolt. I'm pretty sure there's a bolt down there. So in the meantime, I'm going to set this over here. Then what else did I need? Oh, this bar. We'll get at it with an impact. Loud noises. Okay. Ooh, that's getting kind of tight. Or hot. Let me crack them loose first. that first. It's tight. It's also 12-point socket. Oh, now you want to cut these. These are the bolts for this bar. Let me get another type of 13. See if it's a half. Okay, so if you have a half or 13, that'll work. This one's tight. Jesus. Holy shenanigans. They did not want you to get that one off. This one seems like it's beefier. The top one, yeah, it is. You can compare. See how much beefier this one is? The top one, which is right here. Remember that. And your bar will just lift right off. Of course, you got some fasteners for this cable. Okay, you just wiggle them off, and out she comes. Okay, we're going to use 10 mil for the negative cable battery. Negative cable on the battery. Just enough to get that loose. Maybe a little more. Okay. Wiggle it right off. Set it down. Now that one's going to be, the positive terminal is going to be a half. Okay, that's off. Alright, now we can wiggle this thing almost out of here. I think those were half as well. No, those are not half. I don't think they're 10. I think they were 13. What did I do with my 13? Or 11. I got an 11, perfect. These aren't really tight, so I'm just taking them off by my hand. So I suppose we gotta move this around to get the battery out. Alright, and then you can lift it up and kind of move it out of the way for your battery to come out. Don't forget the battery hold down is down there also. That's probably also a ½ inch. Yeah, I'll get an extension. Man down. No, not really. Not really. Tool down. That's what it should be. Get on there. There we go. This is for your battery hold down. ½ inch. There's the bolt. And then the little rubber donger. Place these to the side. Now the battery. So let's take off this cover to give us a bit more room, a wee bit more. Push that over. I just got it resting on this hole over here. Okay, and then kind of force its way out. And there you go. Oh boy, just that one. It's a heavy gall darn battery, let me tell you. And then switch it back over and rest it on this side, if you will. Push it down. Heck, you can even put one of these nuts there to secure it. Get out of my way. Okay, push it down. Get one of these nuts on there, and it's secured. Not the best space because of this. You know, you got all these cables running through here. So you could somehow take this, pop this off. Oh, what did I do with my flash? Right here. Oh, here's that thing down there. I was telling you where that sits. Can you see that little nipple down there? That's where that sits. That coolant tank. Alright, well, it's just right here. Let me get you. this? Right here is the water pump. So, alright. Alright, I'm gonna set these nuts back up here. So I don't lose them. There's another one. One more down here. Maybe not. I'll find it eventually. So, now we got to get that bracket. See this bracket? That has to come off because there's a hose. It looks like a heater hose, I would guess. No. Coolant or heater. Most likely heater hose. That's my official word. And so I'm gonna get probably another 1/2 inch. My guess is 1/2. Yes, sir. 1/2 inch, and we're gonna rip that right off. Not literally, but we're gonna take her off of there. Now, before I even get to the water pump, there's a pulley. And this, most people will probably forget or run into a situation, is even before I pull that pulley off, you gotta pull the belt. But let me back up. In order to get that pulley off, you're gonna need the belt on there. Why? Because right now that belt's holding tension on that pulley. And there's 4 bolts holding in that pulley. If you take the belt off, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting that pulley off. That's where you're gonna run into cuss words and like a whole bunch of should have kept that belt on there to keep tension on that pulley, because it's supposed to be 18 foot-pounds, and that's enough to want to turn that pulley if you go to loosen those bolts. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to put this bolt right back in this hole so we don't lose it, and we'll know what's supposed to go there. So that's up out of our way. Let me get my flashlight again. Yeah, there's pretty good room to work with. Okay. You got your 4 small bolts that go into the flywheel, so to speak, of the water pump, and the main bolt that goes through, that threads into that flywheel of the water pump. So right now we're going to drain some coolant. We're going to wait till it drains, and then we'll be back. Hey, while this is still draining, we're going to get that pulley cracked loose. I'm such an idiot. That center piece right here, that's not a bolt. That's the shaft that the pulley rides on. Oh, I'm such an idiot. So if you think there's a big old bolt there, there's not. Totally wrong. So I don't know, let me try to lift you guys up a little higher. so you can get a good look down in there. How should I do this? Oops, daisy. My camera light's on too, and it's not the best. Stay there. Okay. It's this unit down here. I'm gonna pull it off. Those are 10 mil. These bolts, these 4 bolts are 10 mil. And we're gonna zip them off with the belt on so we can, you know, get it off easier so we don't have to fiddle with anything. So we shall do that. Okay, tighten. One, two, three. You don't feel like they're 18 foot-pounds like they're supposed to be. Okay, that's pretty simple. When you got it on the belt, so much easier taking off this pulley. That way when all the screws come out, you can take the belt off like we're gonna do. And then it'll reveal the water pump. This one a little bit more. I was using a 10 mil deep well. You can use a shallow. And that will also pop the pulley. I'll just pop the pulley right off of there. Okay. Here it is. Pulley. Well, now we don't have to take the belt off. All right. My other bolt did fleek off. And it landed on the floor somewhere. We'll keep the bolts with the pulley. Oh man, jeez, there it is. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see. Those bolts are 1/2 inch for that. Sounds like it's almost done draining. It's just dripping along. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts around here. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 5 bolts, 1/2 inch. These are like 11 foot-pounds. So when you pop this out, I'm sure you're gonna get more. Get some of this out of your way to get to that top one. I'm sure this water pump has not been changed, and it's got almost it's just south a little bit of 200,000 miles. It's hard bending over on these engines. It's very, very hard. So that's all I got left. Get these out, get the new one in. Some of these bolts are kind of slippery from the coolant. Okay, there's one. That's what these bolts look like. Not bad. I would have hated to have it on an engine where you have to tear down some of the top end to get to that water pump. That would suck. I would be hating life. Some of these engines where they put them in the most dumbest places. Yeah, I'm sure that's where they had to stick it to make everything work. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. One more down here. I gotta get a little bit more. The bottom one. I saved the bottom for last. Could have saved the top for last. I guess it doesn't matter. You're changing out a part for new part, but all part for new part, don't matter. On some things. All these bolts are the same. Let's see if I'm missing one. Yeah, right there. That's one. Okay, so the one over here on the left side. Top left. So I did save the top bolt. Let me stand up again. Oh boy. Yep. I'll put these bolts in with the pulley. Just so I know. Okay. Of course, this top one's the wettest bolt, so you can't. Let me grab a paper towel. won't defeat me. You hear that, bolt? You will not defeat me. Okay, before I pull that out, I'm just gonna give the thing a pull or a twist. Yeah. So, we can pump the extra fluid out of there. That's a good idea to do, to give it some spins to get that extra fluid out. Then maybe you won't have as much falling out when you pull it out. There it is. Last bolt. Ooh. Yep. Look at that bolt. You can tell where it's been leaking. Right there at the gasket on the top side. It's all crummy. Then just give her a wiggle. Just like that. Get a towel under it. There we go, water pump. She's out. Baby is born. The gasket's still attached. That's good. You can kind of tell right here. Right there is where it's been leaking. It's a good thing we shoved some of that liquid back into the block. This one's a metal gasket, but with a paper backing. So okay, so we'll see you guys on the install. I'm going to continue to let this drain out. I think maybe just the pump part was bad, like the center part and the gasket, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna get back to I'm gonna stretch out a little bit. I'll wipe some of that out, and then we'll get back to when I'm ready to set the new one in. As you can see down in there, there's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. Okay. All right. All right. Replacement pump. Not sure if it's this one. REP C313516. That's one number. The other number, part ID S05T13. It's from Drive Motive, no sponsor. So always, what you're gonna do comes with a gasket. Oops, excuse me. God dang it. Right here, I got the gasket for it. New gasket, new pump. What you always want to do is inspect it, make sure it turns, you know, there's no cracks, no damage. It's got the freeze plug. Make sure the gasket lines up. Okay, you're gonna line up the gasket like so. Okay, just like that. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it in just like, you know, just like how it was. Put like a bolt right here and a bolt down here, and then that way the gasket will stay on. Before that, we can also compare to our old gasket. Okay, which is pretty spot on. So I think the freeze plug's supposed to be on the bottom, so it's going to go in more or less like this, because the freeze plug goes on the bottom. That's how it came out. Because of all this dirtiness, that tells me that this was the top. So freeze plug's on the bottom on this, so I'm going to put it in just like that. The other thing is, when I put that in, I'll be going in pretty much reverse order. You know, once that pump goes in, we're going to torque it down to 11 foot-pounds, and then I'm going to put the pulley on. I'll snug up the bolts, just snug them up. I'll put the belt back on, and then we can torque it down to 18 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to clean out the holding reservoir really good before I stick it back in there and fill it back up. And then I gotta put the battery back in. I gotta set this back in and that bar, and we'll be pretty much done. So that's all I got. I'm gonna take a little scratch pad that's pretty soft, and I'm gonna, you know, clean around the surface. I'll clean around the surface of that's on the engine. I'll clean it before I stick it on there. So just as long as you you know, like I said, stick a top bolt in and a bottom bolt in, stick them in, and then thread them, get them started, and then get all your others started, snug them, torque them, and then move on. So there's a little bit more prep I got to do with that expansion tank, and you know, just getting everything squared away and put back on nonetheless. So I'll leave you with that. It's just, you know, like everything you take apart, put it back in reverse order. Think about what you got to do ahead of time. If you got to clean something, clean it and put it back on and do whatever. So with that in mind, I'll get to it and get this thing done. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Kevin. This is Just a Wrenching. We'll see you next time.